Hi, everyone, and happy Hall of Fame. I hope you guys are enjoying Hall of Fame so far, and thank you for being with us and choosing this panel this afternoon here at the Orlando Health Fortress. My name is Dr. Haifa Mamar. I am the Executive Director of Emerging Technologies here at Full Sail University, and I am joined by my co-host, Dr. Heather D'Artez, who is the Director of Graduate Studies. I'm excited about this panel today because we will be talking about drone technology, how it is impacting different industries more than we can know about. So today, we are streaming live on YouTube, and we have an online moderator, as Victoria mentioned, so please put your questions there in the chat. They will be taking care of asking your questions on your behalf. So we have an amazing panel today, Heather, and I'm so excited to have this conversation and share more about everything that they do in the drone space.
Yeah, I am too. We have an excellent panel. And by the way, are you guys having a good time at Hall of Fame this week? Yeah, awesome.
Woo!
Yes, I love to hear that. It's my favorite week of the year. I always look forward to it. And I'm very excited about this panel. I think this is the first panel that I've been a part of that's related to drones, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet our guests today. So our panelists, the one that's joining us remotely is Dominic Romano. He's the Chief Executive Officer of BrainPipe.io. We also have Alex Narvaez. See, I knew I was going to screw one of the names. It was Alex Narvaez. And he is a film bachelor's graduate that is now a drone content producer and aerial photographer. I should add that Dominic is also a game development grad. So we have 2 grads in the house today. And then we have Michael Abode, who is the co-founder of Moodro. So welcome to our panelists. Very happy that they're here today. So before we get into what they do, I want to give a little bit of a background. Just from my own personal experience, I always thought of drones as being used for photography. I don't know, that's like kind of what I thought they were used for so many years. And then as I got to know our panelists, I got to learn more about all the different ways that drones are being used in different industries. And so
it's because it evolved.
It has evolved.
It used to be a tool, as you said, whether for photography or even for kids as like just a toy. But then in the last 5, I want to say, years, it really impacted so many industries. So yes,
it is I guess an industry that's blowing up right now and affecting so many other industries.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. Dominic, can you start by telling the audience a little bit about your background and what you do, because you are in a different space, and I would love for them to hear a little bit about what you do.
Sure. First, I just want to say sorry I couldn't be with you all at Hall of Fame week this week. But yes, my name is Dominic Romano. I'm a Full Sail game development graduate. So after going through the game development program, I ended up finding myself being the founder of a company that works in the AI space. We do a lot of work with some of the largest manufacturers in the world, from pharmaceuticals to automobile. And we also do quite a bit of work in the drone space as it relates to artificial intelligence with drones. So as well as that, I also serve on the AI steering committee of the U.S. National Drone Association, which is working to accelerate the U.S. manufacturing of drones today.
That is amazing.
And let's add that U.S. National Drone Association, they have their headquarters here at Full Sail University. So that kind of collaboration and partnership is very important, especially for Full Sail University from the drone perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Alex, you have your background in photography and cinematography. Can you tell a little bit about what you do? And I know that they're going to be for those of you that are joining us virtually, they're going to be dropping a link to his demo reel so that you can see his demo reel. It is really impressive stuff. So can you talk a little bit about some of the specific projects that you've worked on in that space?
Yeah, so my name is Alex Narvaez. I'm a 2018 film graduate from the bachelor's program. Full-time, I'm a freelance videographer, cinematographer, but something I've leaned in on a lot and gotten a lot of projects with would be doing aerial cinematography. So everything from documentaries on HBO Max to filming with IndyCar and their feeder series, USF Pro Championships, traveling around the country to different racetracks, following the cars on tracks with the drone. That way it can be live streamed to the audience. And a lot of luxury real estate and hotel developments as well. So a very wide range in the entertainment space.
Very cool. And Michael, of course, last but not least, share a little bit about what you're doing in the drone space now.
Sure, I'm co-founded the company, and our technology right now helps to detect more than 10,000 drones per week and neutralize about half of them because we understand where is the enemy with the other drone. So I'm from counter-US drone, so my job is to neutralize drones at a threat.
And it's to protect. So it's really you're protecting whatever application country and so on from attacks.
Yeah, so primarily defense or to protect critical infrastructure from something what shouldn't be expected in the peacetime.
Thank you. So as we know from our panelists today, it's really different industries. Drones are becoming a powerful tool, whether it's national defense, whether it's public safety, and Dominic will share later on more about how it's used for natural disasters, whether it's entertainment and shows. Think about drones in drone shows, having all these, like at Disney or at Universal, where they have these hundreds or thousands of drones together in a show. I mean, think about many of the real retail, like Amazon or Walmart, they're using drones right now for delivery. So there are so many different applications on how drones can be used. On top of it, obviously, it's the defense industry that's kind of leading the evolution of drones. So here at Full Sail University, go ahead.
Can I butt in real quick? I'm just curious, by asking the audience, how many of you guys have seen a drone show before? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking from an application standpoint, you know, I think it's so interesting that they're used now in defense, right? And the fact that we've got Dominic also that's on the AI using with healthcare and all kinds of stuff. It's just mind blowing. So
yeah.
I'm glad to know that a lot of you are familiar with some of the entertainment aspects.
Yeah. And here at Full Sail University back in December 2025, a couple of months ago, we opened the Drone Innovation Center. I mean, it was a big step for us here at Full Sail. This space has 5 different labs in it. So we have the advanced airspace where you can fly drones. It has tracks of different hoops, and then you can put the obstacle just to train everyone on how to fly drones through obstacles and different tracks. It can be used for racing, it can be used for search and rescue, and so on. But also it has the engineering room where you can work on building, 3D printing, assembly, and manufacturing of drones. The simulation and programming room, it's on how you can actually create different simulations, whether it's for the drone show or other simulations depending on the application we're working for, and other rooms there as well. So for those of you who didn't know about the Drone Innovation Center, I encourage you to go and check it out. It's big, it's in building 4D. You can go through by the treehouse and then you will find it there. There are signs. That space is not only for emerging tech students, it's actually, as you see, it's all the industries that are impacted by drone technology. So there are so many jobs, and we'll talk about that today, of all the new jobs that exist because people know the drone technology. And there are different ways also to think about it. We have a drone club. So Carl Massaro is the advisor of the drone club. You will find that on Full Sail 1. Go ahead and join. They meet every Wednesday at 5 p.m. And actually, we have different members here with us and who are there every Wednesday at 5 p.m. to just fly drones and come up with different scenarios. So for those of you who did not know about the Drone Innovation Center, let's watch a sizzle reel quickly. It is a super cool space. So I encourage you to go check it out, even figure out, we can talk about how you can start not only flying drones, but creating different scenarios, whether it's in entertainment or emerging technologies. So I want to hear from three of you or whoever wants to jump in here. What does it mean for a creative and technology institution like ours to make an investment like the one that we just made in creating the Drone Innovation Center? And what signal does it send to the industry?
I think it's really important and really cool that we have that facility here at Full Sail. It's something that as a student, I definitely would have jumped into, on times that I didn't have class or didn't have anything going on. Just going to be able to learn to fly, or if you're interested in more of the building aspect, engineering, doing the simulations, it's really cool to kind of be a space where all the different programs can come and interact with each other. And just having that in general, like you might be interested in drones and you don't own a drone, you don't know where to fly one. There's all kinds of things you might not be familiar with, but it's all available right there in that space. So I think it's really awesome that we have that.
Yeah, I think Alex would have jumped on the opportunity if he would have had that while he was going to school here.
Definitely.
That was very cool. So all of your industries have been dramatically affected by drones. I want to talk a little bit about how your industries have benefited from the use of drone technology. And Alex, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, so I think a lot of you, if you've been in touch with the Olympics lately that just happened, the skiing was a huge deal. You see the cool FPV shots going down with the skiers. It really immerses you in that action that's happening. Something that I get to do personally with the racing. It's not that cool. I'm not following the cars right behind them, but it gives an aerial perspective to areas of the track that might not look great on camera. So I'm still kind of visually following the cars, giving a little more depth to the stream. But yeah, there's a lot of applications in my industry for sure.
Wonderful. And how about you, Michael? Talk a little bit about how it's benefited your industry.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, defense and drones was like all military personnel and leadership and both soldiers, they say, hey, just drones is like a toys or just a wedding toy. But 4 years ago, everything changed. And right now, drones, it's became something what's impossible to do any type of operation. So drones right now is treated as a surveillance and intelligence, situational awareness, both the targeting, so all type of applications. And so it's almost impossible and to do any type of the defense, national security, or just security of law enforcement operations without drones, because it's so expensive, so risky to send the humans in some dangerous environment. It's much easier and much effective right now to send the drone.
Yeah, wonderful. How about you, Dominic? Can you share a little bit about your industry?
Sure. Well, drones have been used in disaster management for the past 24 years. As time has gone on, we've had more advanced drones that have come to market and have made it easier for deploying these kinds of devices into natural disaster and recovery environments, where the first 48 to 72 hours of a natural disaster are some of the most critical for the early stage of recovery. So the sooner that you can get a drone in and survey an environment to find potentially trapped people or people in need of medical care, and also survey the scene to identify the next steps for recovery, the better. And that actually results in a faster and more rapid recovery process for natural disasters.
You're literally saving lives.
Yeah, so from all these industries, I think we all agree that the defense industry is the one that is growing at a faster speed, where we see a big growth in terms of drone technology. And actually what's happening is that we're even pushing the boundaries of what drones can do. So can you, Michael, I would love your expertise here. How is the defense sector using and pushing that drone technology and industry further, and how is that trickling down to civilian applications?
Sure. I think every time war was the accelerator of the technology, and right now it's the stage of the drone acceleration. So I think it's the most impacted by three different aspects, and this is range, this is autonomy, and this is cost. So 5 years ago, it was like 2 or 3 times more expensive to create and to assemble drone. Right now, you can buy the drone on Amazon, and I was bought 2 of them on $300, and it's can be in your mailbox tomorrow. And it's that's why it's important to embed it and to integrate in drones in different applications, not only just the surveillance, intelligence, but communications, treat drones as a relay, or for the delivery, of course. And the second one is range. So on the battlefield right now in Ukraine and Middle East, you see right now so we have non-fly zone, but we also have no-man zone. So no-man zone right now up to 40 kilometers. It used to be 30 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Right now, 40 because of the robust connection. So, and that's why if you can fly further, you have a much more possibility. And the last one is autonomy, because about 30 to 40% of all operations right now operators doing without human in the loop. For example, with the non-GPS environment, what's the biggest problem for the drones? They rely on GPS, and sometimes you don't have GPS. For example, in Ukraine, for the eastern Ukraine, nobody has a GPS for the last 4 years. So lots of drones can fly without GPS. So that's why lots of acceleration in the progress was how to do autonomous fly without GPS. And right now we have this technology, and it could definitely be applicable for the law enforcement, for the disasters, to find the, people in the correct victims. And it's definitely the way how technology pushing from the defense to the civil market.
Love it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So I went to a couple shows recently this past year that had drone technology. One was the Rockettes over in New York. Have you guys seen the Rockettes before? I'm just curious. It's incredible if you ever get to go see them. But this year they had drone ferries that were flying around the audience, which was really cool. And then I went to the Electric Daisy Carnival. Any of you guys gone to EDC? Okay, got some fellow EDC people. And there was an incredible drone show there. So if any of you guys were there, you may have seen that in the air, and it was awesome. So those are 2 firsthand experiences that I had from an entertainment standpoint, but there's so many other uses and applications. And Alex, you mentioned a few just a minute ago, but how is it really changing the way we consume entertainment and enhancing the user, the user experience? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's definitely changed a lot in the industry, at least in entertainment. I remember the first drone I used, it was like a dinosaur, huge white phantom drone. Now, they're as small as like the palm of your hand. But it's really cool because I get to use them in so many different applications, whether I'm working with the developer of a new high-rise in Miami for their marketing purposes, getting some really nice cinematic shots for them to use, or live streaming for the drone. Or, I have a client in Turks and Caicos where they've got these massive mansions that are kind of hard to show off because there's just so much space. So then we just bring an FPV drone and just rip it through the house to show it off. So there's a lot of really cool applications that make it interesting for the viewer too in entertainment right now.
Yeah, check out his demo reel if you get a chance, because I saw some of them before this, and I was like, my mind was blown. Very cool.
So talking about drone shows that require technology, a specific technology from being, whether it's swarm technology, we'll talk about it later on, but also autonomous and autonomy. let's focus on the technology. Right now, we are in an era where AI is even changing everything. So not only we have the drone technology, but also we have the AI that's changing even the way how drones operate. And you find yourself thinking, are we moving towards a future where we will not have human pilots anymore? Are we moving towards a future where we're going to have robots? So Michael and maybe Dominic, I would love to hear your opinion on this.
Sure. I definitely think everything moving in this way. Right now, AI, like on all ChatGPT, you can see on the below, so ChatGPT can make some mistakes. So it's okay for tomorrow is my wife's birthday, so I'm chatting with the GPT to find their great gift. And if it will be wrong, my wife will be stressful a little bit, but that's okay. But if we on the defense, on the battlefield, if it's some AI can make a mistake, they can eliminate different target, and which is biggest problem. So right now, it's not allowed to penetrate AI a lot of defense, but we see lots of applications, and from our perspective, for countering perspective. So we do AI for understanding, is it our drone or enemy drone? Based on the numbers of the data, we're able to understand. And okay, if we disconnect link between wrong drone, that's okay sometimes, but we still have saved lives. So we use AI because it's impossible to track and defeat hundreds of drones simultaneously in the air, which is right now is the case.
Dominic?
Sure.
And especially that you are on the AI committee, leading the AI committee with the USNDA. So what do you think?
So in February 4th and 5th, there was a Security Council meeting in Spain called REAMS, Responsible Use for AI in the Military, right? And during this Security Council, 2 countries backed out of their agreement to not use AI in the military. That was the United States and China. So in the last 30 days, give or take, we've seen more of a push than we've seen traditionally in the past to actually bring AI into the military for various purposes, because we are moving toward an autonomous world in that regard. And it's a little bit scary, but it really requires a conversation amongst us all.
That's great. It's great to hear that at least the conversation is happening. They're looking into both the challenges and the benefit of having AI in the drone technology and how it can change it. So let's go back to swarm technology. Can you explain what swarm technology is? How can it be used to solve a real-world problem? And I mean, there are so many challenges that come also with swarm technology. Swarm is, we're talking about hundreds or thousands of drones together, whether it's for a drone show or for other experiences. So Michael?
Yeah, I think the way how we can understand the swarm is like just one soldier and special force team. So when we have a drone, we have one capability. But if we have special forces team, when somebody can watch your six, how somebody can cover. So this is swarm, when drone communicating to each other and understands what the role of each other. Okay, one drone goes down, so I will cover this angle, and so this is the swarm. It's not just hundreds of drones simultaneously flying in the one direction. Usually it's centralized when they do roles, communications again, and different type of assignments between all of them. So right now, everybody moving, and it's scary, right? So as you can see, a drone show, 1,000 drones in the one year. It's excitement, but also scary. So our job to protect the same critical infrastructure and soldiers' life or civilians' life against the swarms. And again, only one way to do the same autonomously on our side, on defense side.
I mean, one example of the swarm technology was it last year or the year before when we had...
Yeah, last summer.
Last summer when there was the show here in downtown Orlando, and then there were hundreds of drones for the show, and then there was a challenge, technical challenge, while drones started dropping on people's head. So that's like, so it goes back to what you said, the safety aspect of it and how important it is.
Yeah, first, it wasn't me.
I know.
I wasn't
I
in
did
town.
not say that.
Yeah, but I was in town this time. My opinion, so it's still technology could be challenging, and even in the peacetime. Imagine in the wartime when it have a contest environment, there is lots of effects from both sides. It's much more hard to build robust connection between all them. So, but it's still, we need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I love it. Well, it kind of ties into our next question about regulation, and I'm going to ask Dominic about this. So, Dominic, can you tell us a little bit about where things stand with drone space regulation and where things still need to change?
Great question. Well, anyone who's been watching the news in the U.S. has seen some of the stuff that's been going on in Texas, like in El Paso, where there's been drone incursions over El Paso, and they've had to actually shut down the airspace. Well, we have this problem that relates to a Title 10 law. It's Title 10 U.S. Code 4401, which is for MOSA. It stands for Modular Open Systems Architecture. Now, when creating a drone, when building a drone manufacturers need to really get onto a common protocol that the drones use to communicate with control systems. Now, this same issue is actually preventing us from really scaling to the magnitude that we need to scale to today in defense here, in America. And at the same time, it really presents a risk for Homeland Security, because we need to have a common protocol so that in the event that there's an air emergency, or in the event that there's an unknown incursion in our airspace, we're able to down those drones when needed. So we really need a closer collaboration between the FCC, the FAA, and also the Department of War, and possibly a couple of other groups such as CDAO and a few other agencies, to really form this standard protocol for communications when it comes to drones.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. So let's talk about skills. Here at Full Sail University, we're known for teaching hands-on. It's all, it's our DNA, it's the way we do things. You only learn, and you know it as students, depending or regardless of your program, everything is very hands-on. That's how we want you to be ready for that industry you're going into. And the Drone Innovation Center is not really different from that, because we're giving our Full Sail students, both in emerging tech and entertainment media students, that hands-on experience on drone technology. And this is a question for all of you. You being in the drone space, having different jobs or different interests in these industries, how important is that experiential experience or learning for our students if they want to work in an industry or in the drone industry or drone technology?
I think it's definitely an advantage that students have now. When I first went out there with Carl Massaro, who's kind of heading that program a bit, I flew through the obstacle course. If you saw the video and if you go over there, they've got little rings set up just in a simple pattern. But I was flying through the rings and I thought about it. I kind of laughed because I was like, this is like Full Sail bread and butter, real world application right here. Because I had just done a job with the FDA at a government building in Atlanta. And I was flying the FPV through science labs with millions of dollars of equipment and boiler rooms with pipes all over the place. And I was essentially flying through little hoops, flying through tight spaces, just like nice, smooth movements. And I was like, this is pretty cool, because if you guys take the time and effort to go learn, practice on your own as much as you can, you could easily apply it to those different real world situations.
I agree. It's definitely all about the hands-on experience, and I think it's because of the learning feedback loop. So you can imagine lots of things, you can draw lots of things, you can program, but until you feel it and do a couple crash, it's impossible to understand when you need to improve.
Dominic, is there anything you want to add there about experiential
Sure.
learning?
Well, Full Sail is known as being the place to get a real-world education, right? So, like, for example, when I was going through the game dev program, I learned so many fundamental things that not only helped me, be able to better understand AI systems, and also be able to create simulations which make drones smarter, right? So when you're applying AI to drones, or you're learning how to fly drones, you're probably going to start in a simulator or in a 3D environment. All of that is really fundamental stuff to the game development program. So yeah, definitely is a lot of different, I would say, tangential skills that you can learn from Full Sail that you can apply into different sections when it comes to drones.
For those students who are looking to maybe get a career that's related to the drone industry, what do you think are like the most important skills that they would need to learn? And I know, you have a very different skill set than, Michael and Dominic. So I'd be curious to know, like, what are some different pathways to careers that they should consider and skills that they should develop to get there?
Definitely taking advantage of practicing here as much as you can. Not all of you might have a PC set up at home that can run the programs to use the simulators. Personally, I just have the Mac. I still have my 2015 Mac from when I was here, and that thing does not run the simulator at all. So we have a whole station set up where you can just do that here, practice, crash comfortably where you're not in front of directors and producers crashing their drones. It's a really cool environment to really take advantage of, and you're really gonna get as much out of it as you put into it. So even if you have like the smallest thought of like, I kind of wanna get into drones, or maybe I just wanna fly one because I've never done it before, go to a meeting, talk to Carl, talk to Haifa, say, hey, I'm really interested. I'm sure there will be opportunities where it might not be a drone meeting day, but if there's nothing going on and somebody's there, pop in. Some of your professors in other courses, whether you're learning to be a grip or programming something, I'm sure it's the same with them. You can pop in, ask questions, learn. Unfortunately, because it's not a embedded program, you're gonna have to take that time to do it on your own, but it's definitely more than worth it for sure.
I like what you say because, and thank you, by the way, for saying that, because like you're kind of doing my job. I'm like, hey, if it's not part of your program, but it is kind of valid for all the different extracurricular things that we offer here at Full Sail. It may not be embedded into your program. It may not be directly related to your program, but I hope you understand how much, for example, I'm just going to talk about drone technology, is actually related to the programs that we have here at Full Sail. So yes, please go ahead, please reach out, whether to me, to Carl, to your program director, and they will find their way to whether me or Carl, and we'll figure out how you can be involved. But again, one thing you can easily do is the drone club. It's on FS1. Just search it up, be a member, go, start flying drones, start learning. We actually, this past Saturday, we had the Drone Flight Fest. Hey, and yes. And we had a whole competition, but also people were just sometimes, we had some students who only came to fly drones. They were learning how, like the software, and which is, by the way, very difficult. Like, it's not like running a regular software, like you're thinking it's a game, like a video game. But it was fun to do, and kind of opens your mind on like all the different opportunities that exist there. Yeah.
Very cool. I would love to hear a little bit more too from Michael and Dominic about the skills that they think are needed, because.
And what are the career paths?
Yeah, career paths. And I want, Michael, I want you to share a little bit about what you shared with me before the show about how you ended up in your space, because it would seem very accidental. Like, can you share that? And then talk a little bit about the skills and career paths?
Sure. So how I came to this world, it was not obvious. I was initially we do production of laser tag as a the paintball laser tag, and then we switched to the defense laser tag as a tactical training. And then somebody was approached because we have close connections with the end users, with the defense guys, and they approached us and say, "Hey, can you do laser tag for countering drones?" And I say, "No, it's different technology. We can't do it." But besides that, right now we have everybody have laser technology countering laser, but it's limited in application. So that's why I started to dig and think what's the different technology can be applicable for the countering drone and protecting critical infrastructure, both saving lives. So this is not like straightforward, but now I'm here. And in terms of skill set, I think drones, it's not just like frame and motors and just software. It's a lot of different things. It's communications, it's mechanical design, it's connectivity, it's coordination between all of them. So in drones sometimes will be as a commodity, but all around the drones, I think is what we need to create to make this future better than yesterday. So my approach maybe will be a little boring. It's the same like how to be applicable to the internet or AI, because internet AI is everywhere. You can say like, oh, we have internet or we have AI. And the same, you can say I have a drone. No. And right now it's the thing, whereas drone is everywhere, and it could be for the logistics, for the defense, for cinema, for the environmental test, I don't know. So that's why the best skills, what I think, and I have 3 kids I teach in, so it's mostly soft skills and the ability to ask questions and to be curious to something, because technology in drones is so much different than 5 years ago.
So interesting. Yeah, so we all have to work on our soft skills, right? We have to know how to talk to people and form relationships and network and all of that. That's important.
Can I ask a question quickly, since he was talking about counter-drone tech? I'm going off script and adding some questions, because I'm trying to tie this to cybersecurity. And on Saturday, when we had the Drone Flight Fest, we did have some cybersecurity students present some of their work. But I think it's important to explain the concerns in terms of cybersecurity and data security that organizations should really think about when they're deploying drones.
I think it's a huge question, and off script and off topic, cyber attack. It's one of the method in counter drones.
Counter drone. That's why I'm asking you the question specifically.
Yeah, we hacking drones to disconnect link between drone operator or do cyber takeover. So we actually can intercept enemy video feed and to do some piloting. Enemy drones. So cybersecurity is another big thing, and I think it's another challenge for everybody. I'm not a cybersecurity specialist, but I definitely know.
We have many here.
Exactly.
If you need to hire somebody.
Exactly. I would love to talk with it. So I think it's all about what's the level of the protection need to be set for the both sides, both defense and civil market, because the opportunity here is huge. Unfortunately, we have lots of backdoors in different drones. For example, DJI Mavic, it's the most famous drone in the space and in the world. So every student there, lots of us can upgrade and update the firmware just in 10 minutes. And it will be, you can fly close to the airport easily. Just in 10 minutes, you can set off all restrictions in the drone, embedded in the drone. How we can deal with this? I think right now law enforcement, FAA, and everybody trying to understand what's the best way for this. So it's both cybersecurity and live security.
Love it. Thank you.
Could I just ask Dominic, last but not least, share us what are the most important skills and career pathways that you consider to share with students?
Sure. So when I was going through the game dev program, I really found that as I've transitioned into AI and working a lot more on advanced technologies like drones, the game dev program really taught me a lot of fundamental skills, like the whole idea around rendering systems, the whole idea around how you work in space, right, and just in 3D, and learning some of the linear algebra and some of those fundamentals connected with game dev, and then also connected with GPUs, right? So when you think about AI and you think about processing, the whole, really the whole movement around GPUs started with video games, and now we're using GPUs to train AI models, right? So they're both very related, and then especially as you get into drones and simulation, control, stabilization systems, physics, all of that is very much related in some of the emerging technologies today.
Awesome. Thank you.
We will be taking your questions, and after this question that I'm going to ask, so please go ahead. The mic is in the middle. If you have any questions, we'll take them now. Same with our online audience. Please drop your questions in the chat, and we'll take them. So let's talk about, we talked about how Full Sail really focuses on the hands-on learning in terms of skills. But also another thing that Full Sail does is the importance of partnership with the industry. So we have so many partners here at Full Sail. We are sitting in one in this space that actually highlights the partnership that exists between Full Sail University and Orlando Health. But when it comes to drone technology, how important is that partnership between education and the industry, and how can we work together on moving the needle on understanding where the industry is going, how Full Sail can help in terms of workforce development and preparing the graduates for that industry?
I think something that we had talked about a while back was maybe having a space here at Full Sail, whether it becomes a designated FAA Part 107 testing center, or even just having having a program to just learn that as well. That's definitely something huge that could happen locally.
Cool.
I think it's all about, again, feedback from the industry and the students, because sometimes the bad thing with the students, they don't know what can be possible or impossible. Yeah. So one guy came to our company a year ago, and they say, hey, how we can just sense the drones up to 50 miles, not just 1 mile. And everybody said, answering him, oh, it's not possible because you don't have enough CPU, GPU on the edge, and this is why. But he just tried up to 20 nights with some AI thing. He created a prototype, and it works. It still works, and we scale this solution on the thousands right now because of the one guy was very curious. And I think is all about connection between industry and students.
And never say never or impossible. There is no such a thing when you're dealing with creators. Dominic, how about you? What do you think? How can the industry help? How can the industry help education and partnering together to really get the workforce ready for that industry?
Well, what's really nice is that, like, particularly with Full Sail, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I went to school at Full Sail, but getting an experience at learning a craft, right? Like, and really deeply learning it and having the fully immersive experience of learning it for years at a time. What's nice is you can push the limits. You can actually innovate even while being in school. Like, Full Sail creates an environment for students to be able to really learn how to, like, kind of fall in love with being smart, which is nice, right? I mean, that's what you want to go to school for. And when you're doing that and you're able to push the limits, it's nice because you always need a connection between deep tech and policy, right? And very few and far between, you get people who are able to do that. But like, we need more of that in today's world more than ever, right? Because we have more and more deep tech that's coming into the market, and we have more and more policy that needs to actually catch up. And policymakers need to really understand what role that deep tech plays in democracies.
That's great. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on how the industry can help. Okay, it's time now for the questions from our audience. Please share your name, your program, and then if your question is directed to one of our panelists, please make sure to mention that.
Hi, thank you. Hi, my name is Arif Aziz. I originally graduated as a recording arts student. Had a short career in entertainment. I say short. Moved into drone manufacturing technology for the past 10 years.
Wow.
So I wanted to echo everything that you guys are saying and congratulate Full Sail for recognizing this opportunity to teach this technology, because it surely is going to be important moving forward. I've been teaching marine biologists. They use drones to spot whales, sneak up on walruses, do water sampling. Another big opportunity is in the industrial space. Drones are ubiquitous for inspection of the wind turbines, et cetera. But I had a question for you, Michael, specifically with the way drones are being used today. First of all, I hate the word drones or UAS, because it's more into that. I wanted to ask you how much from just the aerial side it's transferring to ground vehicles, to humanoids even, and the dog robots.
Yeah.
They're great questions, because everybody think US is just aerial, but right now we're tracking about 5% of UGV. Ground controlled ground vehicles, unmanned. But on our prediction, we think because of the no-man zone, so it's I believe some war in the 20 years, it will be only drones for the about 100 kilometers. Both sides, no man zones, and it will be only aerial, ground, and underground drones. So we see right now, because of this much more penetration in aerial and ground, it definitely will be only one way how we can survive with drones even is underground. So it's not exist right now as far as I know, but in common applications, but I think it will be in our future.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Too.
We should talk after this.
Yes.
I would
Thank you.
love to hear
I would
more
love to,
about your
Dr. Mamara.
experience,
Thank
how
you.
you went from recording arts to manufacturing of drones.
Yes.
It was,
Thank you.
Oh, there is an online question I see over here. Elizabeth, would you like to ask the online question?
Yeah, we actually have quite a few online questions. But the first one that came in was, are there any developments underway for improving drone blades or propellers?
Are there any, progress on improving the propellers and drone what?
Drone blades or propellers?
Drone
Yeah.
blades.
I'm not aware, because we're trying to mitigate drone as soon as possible. So if it's so, I'm not tracking the propellers itself. Maybe colleagues has some information on this.
I don't know about improving them, but you can definitely tell. Like I said, I started using those huge phantom white drones. It was very hard, cheap plastic propellers. And now I have the Mavic 3 Pro Cine, and it's got, I think it has maybe a carbon fiber plate interior, but then it's still got a little bit more softer, kind of durable plastic, to where if you nick something, maybe you don't need to change the propeller right away. You can get another flight or two out of it if you had to. But there are other brands out there too, like third party, that are pretty solid. But right now, I think they're all relatively the same.
Good question. Awesome. Good question. Next one from our audience here, and then we'll go back to Elizabeth for another online question in a second.
Hello, my name is Louis, and I'm a graduate of the IT Associates in Cybersecurity Bachelor's. My question is for the panel, maybe two of you, that'd be awesome. But I'm wondering, with autonomous and swarm tech that is becoming more prevalent, what is the data management looking like at scale? And then are there any projects you can suggest that a student, a grad can work on, maybe in cloud or something like that, where we can practice some real world technology and security projects?
I know from a national security perspective, all vendors right now trying to put everything on cloud, because if some enemy can capture your device, your edge device, you can do reverse engineering or something like this, or so that's why on the edge they're trying to do as less as possible, and everything, all computing power somewhere in the cloud. And it's all because of the Starlink, Star Shield. It's possible and it's easy, so you can buy the Starlink for $100, something like this. So I see this moving in terms of different infrastructure solutions, and I'm pretty sure they cover both edge and cloud from the penetration, but can't say a lot of this.
Thank you. Anybody has anything else to add? Dominic, no? We're good? Okay, we have we're going to take another online question. Elizabeth?
We have a couple for Alex. One, can you talk more about drone use in movies? And what is your favorite and most reliable cinema drone to use? Do you use specific lenses for different shots?
Yeah, so I'll start with the second half of that question. Like I mentioned, personally, I own and operate the Mavic 3 Pro Cine. It's got 3 lenses. You've got your typical wide-angle lens. It's got a 70 millimeter lens built in and a 177 millimeter, so you can get really nice and tight. An application that I like to use with those tighter ones, for instance, if I'm filming a race and maybe there's a car that's gone off track, hit a barrier, and they're in an area of the track that the cameras can't catch, I can just punch in and I have a crystal clear shot and they'll cut to it. It's even been used with some of the race directors for like penalties, because they might not be on my camera at that instance, but I'm still following the action, and they can cut to the live view within the TV truck and say, hey, like it was number 7 that hit number 8, and it wasn't 8 that hit 7. So it's cool to have that option for them as well. I would say my favorite lens would probably be that mid-range, the 77 millimeter, because you get some really nice compression. If you are online and you're looking at the demo reel, one of the opening shots I have of a really cool high-rise building in Austin, Texas, is using that lens, and it just makes the building look so huge compared to the background. It gives it really nice depth, so I like to play with that because that helps me give my cinematography side of things a little bit of fun. And movies, there's a lot of applications. I mean, whether you're watching like Michael Bay's been implementing a lot of FPV. I think he had a movie recently called Ambulance that had a lot of insane FPV shots. I know F1 used a good mix of some drones with helicopters, but in every instance, you might not have the F1 budget to rent the helicopter, so you get the cinema drone. But yeah, there's a lot of movies out there utilizing that right now.
Thank you. Hi, Marcel.
Hello, good
Go
afternoon.
ahead.
My name is Emrys Cruz. I'm a computer science student, and I've been dealing with the drone club since they started, so I'm a drone enthusiast myself. I just finished working on a simulator project for the Fly Fest, and my question is related to that. Like, where should I focus my skills right now as a computer scientist? I'm like 7 months close to my graduation date, and I would definitely like to work in the drone industry. So what should I focus on?
You said you want to work in what industry?
Drone industry.
Drone industry.
Yeah.
Are you looking for someone to hire?
Yeah.
I recommend this guy.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Yeah. For example, we use in computer science as a different application, for example, to find the drone signal in the very contested environment, in the contested spectrum. It's hard to see even by your eye, and now you need to do it autonomously without human in the loop. So we do lots of processing, CPU, GPU, and lots of algorithm both and machine learning to understand, oh, this is a drone, and this is our drone, or this is enemy drone, and this is, even for the law enforcement, they need to understand, is it a threat, or is just a flying drone to capture the, like a hobby. So we'll do lots of processing so lots of people thinking like defense is all about the hardware and big metal something, but 90% of all of investment is a software. So all defense right now is a software. So I think it's you doing right path if it goes either defense, either just civil applications. So drone is just flying software right now.
Thank you.
He wrote a simulator actually on Saturday. He was showing me what he was doing. That was specifically for drones, and I'm like, and he had less than a week to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's amazing.
And every Wednesday at 5.
And
Drone
every
Club.
Wednesday at 5, come to the Drone Club. Thank you. Dominic, I mean, if you have anything to add, please jump in there. Just like I want to give you the opportunity. Yeah.
You know, for a game dev student looking to get into the drone industry, some early skill sets to kind of focus in on and hone in on would be like spatial partitioning, streaming from spatial partitions, physics. Definitely pay attention to Bahin's class.
Yes.
And, yeah. So you know, those all your primitives too. So like your linear algebra. You know, once you kind of start getting into you know, streaming endpoints from hardware or to hardware. When you start using like registers on hardware, all of that stuff starts getting into the real nitty-gritty of systems engineering at a very low level that is going to be very useful, you know, when you're getting into the drone space.
Thank you. I'm going to be taking one last question. I'm looking at the time, and yes, I'm going to be taking the audience question. We're almost at time, so please go ahead, share your name, your program, and your question.
My name is Camille Ludwig. I am going to be majoring in the cybersecurity program. I have been looking into the physical penetration security, the testing side of it, and they are definitely starting to be using more drones for like securing the area, checking it out. Some have even gone as far as using the drones to infiltrate buildings, leaving things inside for them to use once they get in, or to even, you know, help them get into the buildings themselves. So I've been looking at some drones online, just to kind of see what's out there. I don't know much about them myself, but it doesn't seem like battery life on some drones are very good, or at least very long. They seem to kind of be, I don't know, sub 40 minutes. What would you guys suggest in regards to battery life when looking at stuff like this?
We talked about this, Alex, on Saturday.
Yeah. So if you're looking at like cheap little ones or like the really intricate builds of FPV drones, those will literally get you like 4 minutes at most, maybe even 3. But there's a really good DJI one if you're kind of interested in more of that cybersecurity side. I would say look at the Avata or the Avata 2. Those are going to give you that FPV style feel, but they'll last about 12 to 16 minutes. So it's a little better, and it still gives you that FPV kind of perspective, because if that's mainly the cybersecurity side of things, that would be more what you'd be dealing with. Yeah.
Alex, anything to add? If you don't, I'm fine. I just want to give you the opportunity. You're good. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming to this panel. We really, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. And our panelists will be here, so feel free to come and ask your questions if you have more. Thank you. both of you,
Yeah,
and
let's give
Dominic
her-
for your time. Let's give them
Let's
a
give
round
them
of
a round of
applause.
applause. Thank you, panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll share Dominic's information online. So if you have any questions, feel free to email him, or we will send you the email, like the questions later on, Dominic.
Yes.
Well, we did it again, Heather. That was a
Yes.
great one. I hope you enjoy the rest of Hall of Fame. And thank you for spending this afternoon with us. Have a great day.
Enjoy your day, everyone.